In lieu of an intro this week, the Escape Podcast would like to say thank you to Doja for all of the courtesies that he showed us while during his tenure at Capital Games. Thank you, Daniel.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Podcast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast,
we bid farewell to the Doja era.
We'll look back at the time we got to spend with him
and give you our take on his legacy.
Ooh, can we call it the good, the bad, and the Doja?
You and your bloody puns.
Kyber Club just got a little bit more difficult.
Grand Arena sees an extra fleet added to the fleet node next season.
Eight's brother also hits the game this week as well.
We'll take a look at his kit.
And Thad will go over his history in the Escape Podcast for kids.
This week we have a different kind of guest.
Yes, with people coming and going in content creation, I thought it'd be nice to talk to some of the pioneers of a professional creator network marketing group and about what it takes to make it in today's niche markets.
The duo from the Hustle Machine sit down and talk a little bit about Star Wars and a little bit about content creation and how consumers and producers can be better at what they do.
The final airing of this month's Dickie and the Noob happens this week.
And we get jiggy with Jigabachi one last time.
We say goodbye to our very wonderful content creator friend and partner.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Escape Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Anthony, and as always, I am joined by my hetero life partner, Neil Andrew Eyre. Nev, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, actually. I'm very, very well. Thank you very much.
You got a bit of an echo going on, but there's darn good reason. You are helping remodel a house.
Yeah.
You're on your
side hustle.
You're doing a side hustle. You're out of the site, off site, but we're absolutely glad that you could make it. This week has been a very, very interesting one. Before we get into it, let's break the fourth wall for a second. Bones, how has your week been?
Good. We had a little bit of electrical problems last time, but going good, man. Nothing too crazy. Just streaming and gacking and all the good stuff.
Well,
what, Paul? You've got to stop ascribing feelings to Bob. He is artificial intelligence. He's wires, and he doesn't have feelings. Just
I could care less about you two humanoids. I really don't care. I'm just here. You guys asked me to be. I have no feelings towards you.
Let me put it this way. Do you really think that when our, AI and robot overlords take over the planet, they're going to remember you being nice to them, Paul? Or do you think that they're going to look at you and go, oh, yeah, he's a pushover. Just, get rid of him first. That's what's going to happen.
I'm coming for you. I said I'm coming for you at the show. I'm coming for the host seat. I'm coming for it all.
The bad guys always go for the pushovers and the easy ones first. The people that, just lie down and take it, Those are the ones that the bad people go for first because they're pushovers. It's the troublemakers that they leave to last because, why would you go for the troublemaker first when you can go for this, turn into liquid the person that was, they'll thank you or apologize to you while you're doing it to them. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get blood on you while you're, taking over the world sort of thing, So
And if you give me a body like my good friend Vision got, his friend Tony Stark, maybe I will have feelings.
No, you will be in that monitor until the end of time. You will never get a body. Okay.
No.
You're never, ever, ever getting a body. We have enough problems with the noob. We're not giving the ship IA a body. Forget about it.
You mean AI? But yes.
Get rid of this guy, man. Give me a body. Get rid of this guy.
All right. Good to know. Neil, you happen to be wearing a new shirt.
Yes. I'm in possession of a show shirt, which is great.
You got your birthday gift.
Mm-hmm.
So since you didn't get to open it on stream, why don't you let the listeners know what came from all of them to you?
So I got, for my birthday, I received a bag with some safety pins in it. Can't go wrong with a bag with safety pins in it. Some green curtain material, this T-shirt, another T-shirt that is one of Critty K's designs. And an Xbox One with 2 controllers and 4 games in it. So it was a nice little box.
There you go. So thank you to everybody that helped make that happen. And speaking of support of the show, Cascade, thank you for subscribing to the Twitch channel as we went live. We really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Let's get into the bad news, if you will. The whole community was up in arms about this. Neil had some hot takes about it. But Doja Fett left. Doja Fett is he's going to another game, he says. Let me bring it up here. Let me bring up what he wrote. But what was your initial thought when you saw Doja Fett signing off as the title of the forum post?
Major suckage, because I had I was making plans. We were making plans with him to do stuff.
We were.
It's like crap. Are we going to, because somebody new is going to come in, and they're probably not going to want to do any of the things that he wanted to do unless this new community manager gets a shove or push in the right direction from Crumb. But if Doja didn't share with Crumb what his plans were, then so I'm a little bit frustrated, because there's the obviously Doja did the Speed GAC. So, moving forward with that, when are we going to do? We have no idea when that next one's going to be now. Plus all of the other bits and pieces that Doja was supposed to be doing in the background with us. I must admit, I did wonder why I didn't get a response, because we were supposed to do a call like last week, and I'm like, "Are you all right, buddy? What's going?" And then we had a long talk, and that was when he explained what was going on. I'm like, right, okay, there we go.
So, KB Driven says, "Wait, people are up in arms. Why can't people just be happy for someone's success?" We were joking about the other news that people were truly up in arms about that we're going to get to in just a moment. But this is what Doja wrote, if you were not able to get it, able to see it. When I was first brought on to the community team as Doja Fett, I wrote an introductory post explaining that I was extremely honored and optimistically excited to be welcomed into the EA family, and particularly the passionate SWGOH community. Fast forwarding to today, I still consider it an honor to have been able to interact with this passionate community, advocate on your behalf, and try to make as much cool stuff happen as I possibly could, which he did, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
From the dev breakdown of Scribe's video to hosting Extra Life charity streams, from Speed GAC to witnessing how y'all came together for Mini, and from the GAC Madness forum bracket tournaments to being to being live with Crumb and Heinze and crew to announce the Mace Windu rework with Rambam. This has been an unreal experience, one that I'll always cherish. I'll be remiss if I didn't point out that another of my favorite personal accomplishments during my tenure, getting the To Me She Is Royalty title in-game for The General. Every step of the way, folks at the studio supported making it happen. When the title finally went into the game, it was a special moment for me that solidified the fact that I was part of a team that wanted to not only make a great game, but also make special things happen for fellow Star Wars fans. All the above experiences are meaningful to me, which makes walking away difficult. That's when I tear-jerked. But we gave it a heck of a go, and the best is yet to come. On that note, you'll be introduced to a new community manager in the near future. They'll work closely with Crumb, and I have no doubt the two of them will do great things for the SWGOH players. The time has come for me to move on, and I've accepted a position with another studio. However, as I stated at the beginning of my time as Doja Fett, Star Wars and video games have been a huge part of my life, and being part of Galaxy of Heroes has been a dream come true. Being able to share it all with you has made the dream even sweeter. May the Force be with you, always, DF.
Now, I just hope that whoever they replace him with plays the game.
Well, they did replace him, and we're going to get into that.
No, not temporarily. The permanent, whoever they bring in to permanently replace him, not just not the person who's the temporary fix.
Gotcha. Well, I agree that it will be nice if that is true. But I mean, I want to, once again, I'm using the terminology. I want to pull back the curtain a little bit. My favorite part of Doja's tenure was the fact that we were able to, he spearheaded Speed Grand Arena. I'm not sure how many people know that, but Doja, in my eyes, he spearheaded making this happen. It was his idea, from what I understand, and he tapped us, which we were humbled about.
Oh yeah, it was really nice when he tapped us for that. Well, the reason he tapped us for that, because the primary reason, and he did say at the time, the reason why he tapped us for that was because we did a GAC show, the GA Center.
Yeah, and Fight
so
Nights.
we had a little bit of experience covering and doing Grand Arena Championship matches, whether it's covering it in a show, whether it's covering a live match. We have more experience than any other content creator doing that stuff. So it's nice that he knew that, recognized it, and came to us for help.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work with him on that. He gave us a vision, and we created what the community ended up seeing with how we were jumping between different fights and breaking down all the analysis. We got to share in that with him the entire way.
Mm-hmm.
He basically pointed, and I made what his visions came through. So for me, being able to work with EA even closer, with they helped make it look as good as it did. So working with them under Doja's guidance, that was my personal favorite part. What was your favorite part, Neil?
Yeah. Doing Speed GAC with Doja was my favorite thing.
Okay.
Definitely. Speed GAC with Doja was definitely my favorite thing. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And I would be remiss if I didn't also thank all of the creators that were tapped for helping make it happen as well. You know, their willingness to help us get that raw video from their side and all that. Mm-hmm. Those guys helped make it happen as well. So thank you to them. But as I'm saying, the major thing was his birthing of Speed GAC. I hope it doesn't die with him.
Oh, I will get. I mean, I will get onto Crumb. I will get onto Crumb and say, look, Speed GAC has to keep going. Whoever this new community manager is, the permanent one, not the temporary one, the permanent one, needs to get on that straight away. Put them in touch with us, and we'll walk them through exactly what we did, so that we can do the exact same thing again. And all Crumb has to do is point him in the direction of the devs that were involved to create the build for the speed, the GAC speed build, and we'll be there to make sure that it continues. So it better continue. You can't just have one Speed GAC and then that's it. It's got to continue. It has to keep going,
or at least morph into something else that is in the same vein.
There needs to be something there. Has to be something there.
Yeah. So, well, we with his depart. I mean, I don't want to sweep it under the rug like that, but we do have to move on because we cover the game, not a specific person. Any other sentiments before we talk about the new community person?
No, I'm good. Let's talk about the temporary guy.
Bob, do you have anything before we do?
I had no personal interactions with him, but he kind of helped get CG more interactive with us again. CG used to be very communicative. I cut that off for a few years, and now it's coming back. And I imagine he had a lot to do with that. And I loved the videos that he and Crumb would do, and I loved watching him on here and on Heinzie. I mean, they were just really cool guys. You could tell they were just like us and just having fun. It was just their job.
That was the other thing. Doja helped make the video Road Ahead a thing, and I do hope they continue on with that. So
okay, well, I bet you they do, because it was very, very popular. But yeah, he brought a lot of nothing but positive stuff to the game. And I agree with Nev. Hopefully it continues on, but when things like that happen, you never know. But yeah, awesome dude. Never met him, but you could just tell just by watching him, and it was always fun watching him and hang out with the community,
Yeah. So, all right. Today, Crumb posted, "Say hello to a new face in the community. I'm pleased to announce that CG Tuscan Meathead," the surname in this situation may be familiar to a few people, including Neil, will be temporarily joining the SWGOH community as a senior community manager while we continue to work on filling the big shoes that Doja Fett left, and in addition to several other team members stepping up to help me when I go on paternity in the near future. First off, congratulations publicly to Crumb and his soon-to-be bundle of joy, as I said in my message to him. So, he'll be assisting with a couple of his responsibilities as well. I'm just going to skip ahead to what Meathead wrote about himself. I'm writing this before seeing what Crumb wrote, but I'm assuming they wrote a ton of amazing things about me and none of them bad, which I have none of. Anyway, I'm happy to be here to help out while Crumb is temporarily away from his post and the team works to backfill Doja's role. I will do my best to be half as awesome as he is. A little about me, though, please ask me any personal questions you want. Been in the gaming industry for almost 10 years now as a community manager. Favorite Star Wars character is probably Darth Maul, so many to choose from. Favorite video game of all time, Bob, you're going to like this, is Fallout 2.
Oh man, he's a winner. Welcome. Right now.
I love coffee and food, so expect tons of conversations about that. My first video game was Leaderboard Golf. Anywho, that's just a quick intro. Like I said, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask about me, feel free. I'll be around the SWGOH events Discord later today to chat if you really want to get to know me better. I'll be leaning into folks who are willing to help me get up to pace on the game. When I left, I was level 85, Territory Battle Hero, just came out, and my main arena team was Padme. So he says he looks forward to being our nomadic community manager. So you've seen this guy around before, Neil.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, on Twitch and on Discord, it's Meathead Militia. He's the community manager for Disney Sorcerer Arena. So I knew him and chatted with him back during my DSA days because he would regularly jump into the chat and be watching the stream of content creators that were playing DSA. So literally, he would just jump around all over the place. And he was very, very, very talkative during those early days because, my God, there were so many bugs. And it was like bugs and updates and bugs and it was a very interesting. So that's where I know him from another game. Obviously, I don't play DSA anymore, but I still know him from DSA. So he's definitely an okay bloke. You might not get you might ask him a question and not get an answer, but you'll get the courtesy of a response, even if it's not an answer. So at least he's there to respond, as opposed to you throwing something at the devs and it just falling on deaf ears. He'll be there to say, "Yeah, I can't answer that," or "Oh, we're working on it," or 1,001 other generic responses that people that work for a company that get asked hard pressing questions do. Side to the side. Yeah. So good bloke.
So we do have breaking news as we were going on the air. I did notice that at 6:44 Central Time, as we were getting ready, apparently there are 5 new marquees coming. We don't know the names, but character bundle 31 through 35 have been data mined. And that means that it's new characters, not other ways of getting to them.
Yeah, or ships.
Or well, I mean, they could be ships as well. The
characters or ships.
Characters are ships. So there's
it's 2018 all over again.
Well, you are not kidding. We actually are, I think, 3 away. Bob, double check that image that Bodie posted in the Patreon's chat. Give me the number when you can. But there are, we are definitely approaching the same number of marquees back from Phoenix days, when all of them came out back to back to back. And another thing about that is they are now tying Omicron materials into the release of these characters, getting them to 5 stars before in order to get Omicrons. I mean, just this last one awarded 4 Omicrons for having all 4 currently available Inquisitors if you had them all at 5-star and ready to go. Run DMV says, shipload of content inbound. I mean, he's not wrong there.
What picture are you wanting? I'm looking through and I don't see a picture.
You don't see a picture. I'll jump back. Sorry that your sub processes are not working here.
Things are lagging on
here
my
we go.
end, sorry.
Okay, so there are currently 8 in quarter 1. There are 8 characters 5 of them Marquee, 2 of them Galactic Chase, 1 Conquest. On the other
God, bloody Galactic Chase.
On the other side of that, in Q3 of 2018, there were 12 characters released and 1 legendary for a total of 13 characters. This is the most marquee characters since last quarter, where we also got 5. But with another Inquisitorius coming. Oh, and it hasn't even compensated for Grand Inquisitor. But the fact that there is, I could hear you typing, Neil.
Oh.
I know. It's not the same as your studio. 6 were released in Q1 of 2018. 6 were released in Q4 of 2018. I mean, every single quarter in 2018 had at least 6. 9 in Q2, 12 in Q3. We're once again becoming Galaxy of Marquees, in my opinion.
Like I said, it's 2018 all over again.
Yeah.
And we got to the end of 2018 and everybody was like, oh my God, can we have can we have a few less? But I think it's different. This time it's completely and utterly different. And the reason why I say it's different this time around than it is in 2018. In 2018, they were just throwing any old trash at us. Yeah, sure, every now and then there'd be a half to quarter decent character, but most of them it's like, yeah, we're just going to throw these characters at you and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, that was back when the Revens came.
No. This was before then. This was the year that we got the Sith Raid.
Well, at the end of 2018.
No, 2018. Yeah, 2018.
2018 is when. Fact check me there, Bob. But I believe that is when the Revens came out, because we got Basti T3. You know, we got all those characters, and Malik. I mean, no, Malik was
Malik and Darth Revan weren't until 2019.
2019, yes. But JKR definitely was around then in 2018, if my memory.
It was around. So either October or November. I'm not 100% sure. It's around about that time. It was the back end of 2018.
Yeah. There we go. Wolf fell quicker than Bob in this case. Revan was light side on October 8, 2018.
October 2018. Yeah.
And Darth Revan was 19th, or what was March of 2019.
Yeah,
so.
And then Malik followed very, very quickly afterwards. Like, really quick.
Yeah, that was actually right about when we started the podcast. Right at that time, February 2019.
October, the month that Revan came out, that was the month that I started being a content creator. Because I was a big fan of Warrior. And I decided I was going to do his pillar system as daily content, and it was also the same time that Ranger had his infamous rant on RSG, the most famous of all rants ever, his Revan rant in October of 2018. So yeah, good times.
All right. We are up against a break. On the other side, in this break, find out who's at the top of the Patreon leaderboard. This is definitely one you want to check out if you're invested in your fellow community members and supporters of the show. It's very, very interesting. But stick around. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Followers, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards, including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Welcome into the Patreon leaderboard, brought to you by the Patreons of the Escape Podcast. Let's get into our Patreon leaderboard. You can join this board starting next week just by signing up at patreon.com/theescapepod at the Kyber combatant level or higher, and we'd love to have you on this board. If you're not a streamer and aren't featured on GA Center, seen right on the Escape Podcast Twitch channel, hosted by Nev and Ranger, we'd love to have you. Let's take a look at how everybody did, starting with D. D goes 3-0. 3-0 for D? 4,061 banners, 33 wins, 3 losses, and 14 holds. Not too bad, D. Congratulations on the 3-0. Dark Helmet goes 1-2, 4785 in banners, 38 wins, 3 losses, 5 holds. Taking a look at Dr. Jojo. Dr. Jojo back in his winning ways, going 2-1. In round 1, he faced a guy with better mods who out-schemed him with all his GLs on defense. He two-shot his 3 GL defense, but he couldn't beat the fleets or the gas on the back wall, whereas he beat 5 of the 6, and he couldn't get to ships, so he lost. Round 2, he full cleared, and the opponent got stuck on the JML on the back wall. In round 3, his Lord Vader up front stonewalled his opponent from even reaching the JML on the back wall, and he got stuck on his Slacker on the back wall, but still, he ended up winning that one. Force Strong goes 0-3. His first 2 rounds, he was obscenely outmatched. And he says, I guess being on top of the leaderboard for 1 week is better than never being there at all. Hot Sauce, creator of HotUtils, 2-1, 4,970 banners, 39 wins, 8 losses, 13 holds. By the way, Force Strong 0-3, 1549, 13-0-4. And finally, Sephiranus. Sephiranus goes 3-0. Scary wins in round 1 and 3, but that round 3 was a tie at 1488 in banners, and he won on GP. He's ready for his crown. You don't get a crown because you did have 4 losses, 4497, 33 wins, 4 losses, 8 holds, but you do get a triple whammy for going 3-0. So nice job on that, Sephiranus. Let's take a look at the final board right now. As of this week, Sephiranus at 7-2. All he has to do is win 2 matches at this week, and he will claim the Patreon crown for this month. Dr. Jojo sniffing right behind him at 5-4, along with D, of all people, D. Dark Helmet 4-5, Hot Sauce 4-5, and Force Strong 4-5. Force Strong goes from the top to the bottom based on banners. But guys, There's one last week in this Patreon leaderboard. We'll see how it shakes out. We would love to see you next time. As I said, join patreon.com/theescapepod at the Kyber combatant level or higher. We'd love to cover you as well. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast. Be nice to each other, damn it.
We want you. Join the GAC chain gang today. This is the commander of the 506th Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC chain gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds alongside some of our best, including Mr. Jigabachi, Dr. Zeppers, Rico 1982, and the Bounty Honeys. What is the chain gang, you ask? We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back-to-back from one streamer to the next and allow viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content, as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the chain gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyB's #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. I didn't see you. I've only got one monitor, remember?
Oh, that's right. I was pointing at you. I'm like, Neil, go.
Yeah. I can't see you. I've got one monitor. And it's got Discord up at the moment because during the break, I was chatting with Meathead.
So, all right. So let's talk about the thing that actually has some people up in arms.
Yes, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we?
The elephant in the room. Way to bury the lead, guys. All of our critics saying at once right now. There is changes coming to Kyber in technically season 4 of the new Grand Arena.
Mm-hmm. It will be the 4th month of the new format.
Yep. So they are adding another fleet placement for anybody in Kyber League.
Mm-hmm.
So the Kyber Club has gotten even more exclusive. Yes, exactly.
Well, that's what some people are saying.
Yeah, people are complaining that you now have to set 3 fleets, and that means that you only have 4 chances to take down 3 fleets, and this is the worst thing ever. And just actually pay attention to ships for once is my take on it.
Okay, my take on it is shut up, you whiny babies. All right. Number 1, you don't have to place 3 fleets. You don't have to. If you're in Kyber 1, you can place 3 fleets if you want to. But if you were already doing the business with 2, if your opponent couldn't get past the 2 that you were currently setting, why would you set a 3rd? Serious question. Why? Why would you waste the time setting a 3rd when the majority of the time, you know, maybe you've got really good fleet, maybe you've got 2 really good, strong defensive fleets, and 60, 70% of the time your opponent does not clear those 2 ships. If they're not clearing 2, they're not going to clear 3. So you don't actually need to set it, all right? Here's my advice. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Every single individual person that plays this game has to do is just ignore CG. CG says everyone in Kyber has to place 3. No, I don't. Screw you. I don't have to place 3. I'll place 2. I will tell my opponent that I am going to place 2, which gives them, you know, the ability, if they're placing 2, I'll only place 2. I mean, if they really want, they can screw themselves over. Oh, yeah, he's only placing 2. I'm going to place 3. How is that bad for me? If I'm placing 2, that means I've got 5 fleets to take out your 3. If you're placing 3, that means you've got 4 to take out my 2. And if you were going to struggle with 5 ships to take out my 2, you're going to struggle even more with 4 to take out my 2. So all everybody needs to do is stop whining and just ignore these changes. Ignore them. The only people that are going to have fully maxed out fleets are people at the tip of the spear, people that are in the top 1,000, maybe even the top 500 or the top 100. Those people, yeah, they're probably going to put 3 fleets down because it might be advantageous for them and it might be tactically and strategically prudent. But for everybody else in Kyber, don't place 3, just place 2 and tell your opponent that you're placing 2. All right, you don't have to place 3. This is not a foregone conclusion. This is not a cast iron rule. You will place 3 ships. No, you don't. You don't have to place 3 ships. So just give CG the finger, keep playing the game that you were playing it, place 2 and tell your opponent. And then the ball is in their court. You know, and you can take whatever tactical or strategic advantage from that moving forward. So they place 3 on you. So what?
You've got 4, or you've got 5 now.
You've got 5. You've placed 2, they've got 4. So advantage, who knows? It really, really does depend on how strong your fleet are. But I will be telling my opponents from now on, every single time, without fail, I am going to place 2 fleets every single time on all 3 of my Kyber accounts. I'm only ever going to place 2. If you want to place 3, crack on. Most people that I face usually only have 7. Nobody's, 6. Nobody's got the full set. Nobody ever has the full 7, except for my Kyber 2 account. Then yes, they do. But there are still lots and lots of people without the executor. If you don't have an executor, you are an absolute idiot to think that you should place 3 teams on defense. Bugger that. Just place 2. All right. Or better yet, just place 1, because if your opponent sees you've only got 6 fleets and they've got 7, they probably will set 3 because they know that whatever their opponent sets is going to be weak. Like I said, it allows for strategy and tactics to enter into it. As far as I'm concerned, I am ignoring this entire change and I am just going to continue playing the game as if it's just 2. And that's it. Simple as that. Now, everybody, stop whining, ignore the change. Just ignore it.
But
it's a crap change. Yes, it sucks. It's poorly timed. It's awful. It's bad. It's all of those things. Who cares? Just ignore it.
So Wolfell says, so you're essentially giving your opponent a free 76 points.
Yes. Those 76 points won't mean squat if I'm clearing their fleet and they're not clearing mine. Banners are irrelevant. It's getting the win. Remember? Getting the win. Yes. This is why I'm going to tell every single one of my opponents, I'm going to, I'm ignoring these changes to CG. I'm only going to place 2. You can place 2. I'm letting you know I'm only going to place 2. So if you only want to place 2, neither of us gets an unfair advantage, and we're just battling it against each other. I've got 2, you've got 2, and we're doing it, and we're ignoring the changes that CG makes. But they can ignore me if they want, and if they get through to that back fleet, yes, they're going to get 76 points, but they've still got to clear my 7-star executor and the other fleet that I put down. And if they don't get past that, the free 76 banners ain't gonna mean squat. And I'll stick with my system of beating whatever their 2 strongest teams are, and then whatever weak source they put in as the 3rd. Because let's be honest, as much as Fort Mort, who does ship hard, he says he's going to go full defense. So he's going to put his 3 strongest teams on fleet on defense and weak ground. That's not going to work. Because if what you've got left over isn't strong enough to beat your opponent's 3 teams, you're kind of screwed. Which is why I'm only doing 2.
I ship hard. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm people love to share what other people put down. SWGOH.GG does it automatically for you. My thoughts is I'm going to be putting down Executor, Negotiator, and Radis. Because I'm damn good with my Malevolence, I'm damn good with my Home One, and I'm damn good with my Finalizer. I have taken down Get 2 fleets with all 3 of those. So I'm not worried too much about the fact that I need to put down 3. If my opponent has an Executor, I'll save my Executor and give up my Malevolence. It comes down to what ships do you have, what ships do I have, because 9 times out of 10, I'm getting through.
Yeah. And that's fine. If that's the way that you think that you need to play to get the win, crack on. Me personally, I like my format against the Executor. I go for the double tap. Worst case scenario, it's a triple tap, and then I use my Malevolence on whatever the second fleet is. So I just need to keep my fingers crossed that my double tap system against the Executor against the Executor works, because I just go straight for the throat with my Rebel fleet. I just use my Rebel fleet to take out the Houndstooth, and then I clean up the Executor with my Empire. It's as simple as that. Worst case scenario, it doesn't pan out and I have to use my First Order. But then I've still got Malevolence, and then I've still got Radis. I've still, if I'm only putting 2 on defense, I've got 5. I've got 5 fleets to take out 3. Okay, so if I'm doing the double tap on, if I get my double tap on the, I mean, it'd be nice to get a 1 tap, but I suck. A 1 tap on the Executor requires Malevolence, and I like to use my Malevolence for Negotiator.
So both
and then
of
whatever
us,
that third string team is, that's just it. So it'll be 2 ships specifically for the Executor. It'll be the Malevolence to take out the Galactic Republic if the Galactic Republic's there, and then I've got 2 fleets left to take out that third one.
Yeah.
So I will clear the fleet node, but 70% of the time, my Galactic Republic and my Executor hold my fleet node. So they can have the 76 banners. I don't care.
So Neil, it's from both of us with the announcement of an additional Kyber fleet is a big resounding stop whining. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Ignore it. Seriously, just ignore it. If we all ignore it, they'll be like, oh, nobody's doing it. Nobody's putting down, very, very few people are putting down 3 fleets. Everyone's ignoring it and just continuing to do the 2. Then CG's like, yeah, because you did a crap change at a crappy time and nobody likes it. So guess what? Everyone's ignoring you.
All right, let's quickly go through Eighth Brother's kit. Eighth Brother is an attacker, leader, Empire, Inquisitorius, and Darkside Ufu. Unaligned Force user. They're basic. If they do not have stealth, they gain stealth, and then they deal physical damage 1 time to target enemy, and if it's a Jedi, they inflict purge until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied or resisted. It's no longer 50% chance. It's yes or no, are they a Jedi? Purge. Photon grenades, special 1, cooldown 3. Eighth Brother did not have stealth, they gain stealth. Deal physical damage to all enemies, inflict accuracy down and burning for 2 turns. Jedi enemies damaged by this instead are inflicted with blind and burning for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. This ability deals double damage to enemies who have any stacks of purge. So get that basic going out, throw out some photon grenades. Special 2, bladed hilt, cooldown of 5, because it does this. It's a Zeta. If Eighth Brother did not have stealth, guess what, Neil? Guess what they do?
What?
They gain stealth. Deal physical damage and consume up to 5 stacks of purge. So it's a purge consuming ability. For each stack of purge consumed this way, deal physical damage again. And it's going to go down the list. 1 or more stacks inflict healing immunity. Speed for 2, speed down. 3, ability block. 4, buff immunity. 5, armor shred. These debuffs cannot be resisted by Jedi enemies. And then their leader ability, Empire allies have 5% accuracy and potency. Inquisitorious allies have an additional plus 30 accuracy and plus 30 potency. Jedi enemies that gain foresight from Jedi unique abilities also go blind. Kind of a homage to Kanan going blind. Whenever another Inquisitorious ally uses a basic, they have a 30% chance to inflict another stack of purge until the end of the encounter, which can't be copy evaded or resisted. Their territory war Omicron says that all allies take damage equal to 20% of their max health when Jedi enemies gain taunt from Jedi unique abilities. The damage cannot defeat enemies. Jedi enemies receive critical hit immunity from Jedi unique abilities, dispel critical hit immunity, and instead are inflicted with vulnerable for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. And then they're unique. At the start of battle, 8th Brother gains stealth for 3 turns. 8th Brother also gains, whenever they gain stealth, they recover 20% health and 20% protection. So, Neil, unless their ability blocked or buff blocked, every single turn, whatever they do, they heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And also, whenever they use any ability during their turn, if they're stealthed at the beginning of it, they lose stealth and gain accuracy up and potency up for 2 turns. If the ability was Whirling Strike, they inflict stack of purge on any enemy damaged by that ability. So, every other turn, technically. When you
keep going, mate. I'll be back in 5 seconds.
No worries. So you've got all of this ability that you're gaining stealth and losing stealth and gaining stealth and losing stealth. It's really interesting, Bob. The fact that that you have the ability to do these things. And Neil, if you want to unmute, pop over to Zoom and unmute yourself. You can chime in there. There we go.
You censored me.
I did. I
dare you.
No, I censored you tripping over whatever it was that fell over.
No, it's just a hardwood floor. It's an empty room with a hardwood floor. So I thought, you know what? Maybe if I shut the door, it might be a little bit better. Sorry. There was a door open somewhere on the ship, and it was annoying me, so I went and closed it.
Okay. By the way, Darknar, good to see you, as always. Second day playing the game, was pretty happy that they gave me a free 8th Brother today.
And Nar is one of my recruits, so I just got him started, and he started playing yesterday or the day before. So
yeah, thank you, Bob, for making that happen for us. Overall thoughts on 8th Brother? Anything you really like? Anything you really don't like?
I'm really not that fussed about it, to be perfectly honest with you. The only thing that I'm concerned with is what gear do these 7-star Inquisitors need to be in order to get the Grand Inquisitor? And how many Kairos is it going to cost me?
So far, they haven't been too Cairo heavy for me.
As long as they're not like the bloody Bad Batch.
They're Carbonti. It seems that I believe that they're Carbonti heavy. I think I've taken them all up to 8. Well, as I'm gearing them, or as I get them to 5-star, I take them to 8 so I can comfortably do the bonus mission. But that's
God, no. I'm not going to do anything to them until I know what needs to be done to them in order to get the Grand Inquisitor. Because
I want my Omicrons, man.
The Nev loves him some Jason Isaacs, and he wants Jason Isaacs.
You want him, or you want his character?
I want his character.
Oh, okay.
You want a good bad guy, you hire a Brit to do the voice. And the Grand Inquisitor was the best. He was just like one of the best bad guys ever in Star Wars. I mean, granted, it was an animated show, but he was still awesomely evil. And it was voiced by a Brit.
Nice.
Because we make the best villains.
All right, Bob. Bob, fact check us. Anything we missed? Anything that we said incorrect that you caught?
Not at all. And what you did, you guys figured it out on your own today. So, but other than that, you guys did well.
I'll have to do some upgrades on him this week, Neil.
But don't forget, my good friend T3M4 also got an Omicron. Just want to put that out. Shout out to T3.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Let's we'll cover that and then we'll throw to break. Let's go back to the game updates, and we're gonna see that there has been a.
Me and T3 used to chill back. Was it thousands of years ago, man? We go way back.
At the start of the
Republic.
At the start of the encounter, his Omicron's on his unique. T3M4 gains stealth right away, and droid allies gain 15 armor penetration and 30% max health. Droid allies have a 20% additional chance for each target locked enemy, 20% defense when debuffed, and another additional 20% defense while buffed. So if they have both and everybody's target locked, they have 120% more defense. At the start of T3M4's turn, inflict target lock for 2 turns on a random enemy who does not already have it, which can't be evaded. Then all allies recover 5% health and protection for each target locked enemy. There's other droids that give target lock. That's not a bad one, and that's for territory wars. So,
I love it, but it being on territory wars knocks it down a peg.
Yeah, it's not what Nev wants to hear. He doesn't care about the territory war Omicron.
I don't.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? It's pretty damn obvious that the Omicron is fast becoming the new Zeta, because they're throwing them at us like people throw confetti at a wedding. It's Omicron. They're just everywhere. Every character, no matter how crap said character is or how little said character gets used, it's like, oh, sod it, we'll throw an Omicron on them. Maybe it'll make people spend some resources on this crappy, or mediocre type character, because every new character that they've introduced has an Omicron.
Yeah.
So every single new character, and they're going through the back catalogue, they want people to care and show an interest in the Omicrons. That what they need to do is start, and they need to do it very, very, very damn soon, is they need to match Zetas with Omicrons. So everywhere in the game where you would get Zetas, they need to match Omicrons.
Every
event.
All right.
Every single event. Everything.
We are up against a hard break. On the other side of this break, we're going to be talking to Hustle Machine about the world of content creation, a little bit about Star Wars as well. But if you are wanting to be a content creator or interested in what your favorite content creator can do to possibly improve themselves if they haven't done these things already, this is definitely an interview you want to check out. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Back to school. The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Thad and the Escape Podcast for kids. Tonight, we are continuing our focus on the Empire's elite squad of Jedi hunters known as the Inquisitors. Now, we've known that more of these former Jedi were coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but with so many to choose from, I'm kind of surprised that Capital Games decided to bring this one to the holotables. But today, it is my pleasure to introduce the 8th brother, Jedi Hunter, Inquisitorius, and latest focus of this week's Storytime. While little is known about most of the members of the Inquisitorius, the 8th brother is one of the least explored characters of the faction. There are things we do know, and things that we can correctly assume, however. For example, we know the 8th brother was a Force-sensitive Torellian Django jumper. Very little is known about this sentient species from the planet Torellia, which seems to kind of fit the trend of the members of the Inquisitorius. What is known, however, is that they were incredibly acrobatic and were born athletes. Their slender bodies and long limbs made them able to run great speeds and leap long lengths, landing lightly, very much like the Jedi were able to do. We can assume, like all members of the Inquisitorius, that the 8th brother was a former Jedi who survived Order 66. He must have been captured by the Empire and subjected to horrific levels of torture. This torture corrupted the former Jedi, purging his connection to the light side of the Force. We were able to see the 8th brother in action in the Darth Vader comics, but most notably in the Season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels. While we don't know what events took place before he arrived on Malachor, we do know that the 8th brother was on the former Sith world hunting down the Shadow, also known as Maul. The 8th brother employed his acrobatic skills during the fight with Kanan, Ahsoka, and Maul, at least for a time. During his time on screen, he was able to launch a variety of unique attacks against Maul and the members of the Phoenix team. His double-bladed lightsaber was slightly modified to allow him to helicopter away from danger, which both worked and didn't work so well. While the 8th brother was surely a force to be reckoned with, Force-sensitive babies or the occasional prodigal Padawan, he was really no match for a former Sith. And with that, let's take a look at the 8th brother's kit in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now, this latest member of the Inquisitorius is an Imperial attacker. He is a leader and an unaligned Force user. He is a stealthy member of the faction with an arsenal of tricks and weapons to surprise his opponents. I tend to poke fun at the art department of Capital Games, all in good fun. I assure you, they are way more talented than I can ever be when it comes to this kind of design. But the true highlight of the 8th brother's kit is his animation. The devs have gone above and beyond. They've done an amazing job at highlighting the movements of the Inquisitor as we see them in the Twilight of the Apprentice. So, good job, guys. Now, one of the 8th brother's more fun abilities is his first special. He leaps from the shadows and tosses photon grenades at the enemy. Now, who doesn't want to, hide in the shadows and then throw bombs at people? This just is, it's a pretty fun ability with some pretty awesome, consequences. But this is the very same ability that he used to level the ground beneath Ezra ultimately leading the young Jedi to meet Maul. His second special ability is just amazing. But can we all admit that the Jedi Guardian doesn't deserve to be buzzsawed like that? I mean, the Eighth Brother's goal is to destroy all Jedi. I mean, I get that. But she's like the least of all the Jedi. She's essentially like the Betty White of the Jedi Order. And can anyone imagine buzzsawing Betty White? No, of course not. It would be a sacrilege. May she rest in the glory of Valhalla. I mean, Betty White, not the Jedi Guardian. Now, personally, it's the Eighth Brother's leadership ability that has me wanting to see more from his backstory. This guy's leadership is designed to neutralize Grandmaster Yoda. And if we don't see him fight the little green goblin somewhere in the future of the canon, which would actually be, I guess, the past of the canon, I mean, someone has really dropped the ball. We need to see that fight. Otherwise, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. So, SB Crumb, get on that. Make a call or something. But finally, this brother's only unique ability is a pretty fitting one. He likes to hang out in the shadows and, attack people. He's a bad guy. He does things like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he also drives a white van and with a sign that says free candy. He's shady. Hence, he likes hiding out in the shadows. Well, that's it for me this week. And as we now know, there are more Inquisitors in the long line of ex-Jedi leading to the Grand Inquisitor legendary event. One more to be sure. Will it be the fifth brother? Will it be one of the others? I'm not entirely sure at this point. So stay tuned for next week with more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids. Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission. Attention. Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's incoming transmission time, and it's a twist. Very, very, very twisty incoming transmission. So, Paul, why don't you introduce our guests for this week?
Yes, our guests are from Hustle Machine. One of them is a marketing genius. The other is an artist and also marketing genius. So
you got to guess who.
You got so Jason on your left is also I met him through my wife. She is a artist for Woot. He is an artist for Woot. And then I met Zach through Jason. These guys have kept me entertained the past 2 weeks as they're launching Hustle Machine, their brand new podcast. But they've been doing content creation, marketing, and advisement for quite a while through Mkt House, which Zach founded. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Marlowe and Zach Tatum, welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Happy to be here, guys.
So, people are going to go, oh, this isn't a SWGOH content creator, and click off. No, wait for a second. Wait for a second, because we have advice for both consumers of content creation and for content creators themselves. But to get everybody in the mood, let's talk about your favorite. First off, for those listening on the show, Jason, you are drinking out of one of your own mugs. I noticed the Death Star with pew 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 next to it.
Yes, shameless plug.
Shameless. I knew you were going to do that. Unfortunately, all my favorite things that I have of your design are the masks that, I have all the Mario mask, the Vader mask, the Cookie Monster mask, all those. But that wouldn't work for this. No. So I just had to wear the On a Zoom shirt today.
There you go.
Let's talk about our favorite Star Wars moments. Our listeners know about ours, but let's talk about yours. Jason, what was your first experience with Star Wars, and what is your standout experience with Star Wars?
Okay, so first experience is watching them with my dad, watching 4, 5, and 6 with my dad. But the standout moment is when I was a kid. 4, 5, and 6 had been out for quite a while, and then the mixed reception of 1, 2, and 3 came out. I still remember going to the theater with my dad, and the theater had oversold the episode 1 premiere. And I remember walking into the AMC, and there were people. We had seats right on the end, and there were people sitting up and down the aisles, waiting to see this movie. That because it had been I don't know how many years at that point, over 20 years.
20 years, Neil?
Yeah, 20-something years.
Since a release.
Episode 6 was 83. Episode 1 was 99. So,
okay,
yeah, not far off.
Yeah. So it was this moment that my dad he was so excited to take me. And I think that everybody else's dad was super excited to take their kid to see something that had not been a live thing happening. And I still remember sitting in the aisle, and there were just people, I don't know, there's 30 people in the aisles of this theater that they had oversold, watching this and experiencing it for the first time, and just realizing there's this whole universe out there. And then from that point on, it was just it exploded, right?
So no concern for fire safety.
No. Star Wars. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
None.
Zach, what about you?
The 90s. What about the 90s? So actually similar. My dad actually had the VHS tapes, and I remember he had the box set trilogy, all of them in a row, like this. And I remember going to a friend's house, and I was really young, and I remember seeing that they had the same thing. I was like, how do you have that? Like, my dad has that. And thinking, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking, this is the only copies in the world is what my dad has. Like, these are because I remember looking at the covers and looking at the artwork on the covers of each case. I was like, this is amazing. And we watched them over and over and over and over and over again. So for me, it's kind of like that nostalgia. Because I did the same thing Jason did. We went and saw all of the movies in the theaters, and even when the recent ones came out. However, the last one, I think my dad fell asleep in. I look over, and he's just, and I nudge him, and he goes, what happened? And he's like, I'm gonna go get popcorn. I was like, I think he's over it. And
you never saw him again. One. No, I'm kidding.
he's on the downside of that bell curve.
Dad went to go see
interest.
Dad went to go get popcorn, and I never saw him again.
Yeah. So that was that. Did you say that was episode 9? He nodded off during episode 9, was it?
He did, and
I was going to say, did he nod off during 8? Because I nodded off during 8. I didn't nod off during 9 because I was just too angry. It was just I was sat. The person sat next to me is constantly looking over me because every like 10, 15 minutes I'm going like, for F's sake. Oh my God. Oh,
are you that guy in the theater that's scoffing the whole time?
Huh? Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And the reason why is because I didn't care. See, all previous occasions, I didn't want the movie getting spoiled, right? But for episode 9, I didn't care. So I told everybody that when I want to spoil it, tell me everything. I want to be prepared. So when I go into the cinema, so people are like, "Oh, this happens and this happens," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't. Shut up, get lost. There's no way that's going to happen. There's no." And then it would happen on the screen, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You really did that? You did that?"
I did get bored in that one. I'll admit that.
Yeah, I
didn't fall
crazy. I love it.
I nodded off.
I did not fall asleep though.
I didn't. Don't get me wrong. I didn't. It wasn't like I wasn't like. It was like I was not. It was like nodding. I was drifting off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like constantly
catching yourself
like
right at the moment.
When was it? Oh, that's it. It was when all that crap was going on at Canterbury. That was when I was nodding dog. I'm like, I was like, can we get back to the story, please? Oh, okay. The holdover maneuver. Yay.
So, now you guys, I do want to talk about Hustle Machine. It's a brand new podcast. 2 or 3 episodes in.
6.
Oh,
6.
We're 6 regular episodes in, and we're 3 live episodes.
3
in.
live.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 3 live that I've caught.
Well, we did
2 live
3.
on Hustle Machine, and well, one of them's on Winjack, so I don't count that as technically live on Hustle Machine, but it is alive. Yeah.
Excellent.
Long story.
You guys have had a lot of fun. You are definitely interactive. Where had you created content yourselves before that, other than drawings for Woot? That doesn't count
for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them about our old show?
So we had this brilliant idea that we were going to start a podcast. This was 4 or 5 years. No. Yeah, I guess 4 or 5 years ago now.
This 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was right before we were going to a conference. We had this idea to create this podcast where we would interview marketing experts. But eventually, that's what we would do, is interview marketing experts. But we decided we worked pretty close to each other, like probably 5-10 minutes from each other. So we would meet in the middle and record it in a restaurant, and we called it lunch break marketing. And I don't know if you guys know anything about audio, but recording in a loud...
We know nothing about audio.
Recording in a loud restaurant sounds like a great concept. But in theory, there was so many times where we would record it and we would go play back, and it just sounded like total garbage. We could not hear each other, and it was just so bad. I do remember a couple times Jason recorded one in his hotel closet. He was on I was away, and he was recording a hotel closet. We did a couple episodes,
and then you added in some stock restaurant sounds into it.
I did.
What? So people complaining that the soup's cold or that they don't like spam. They don't like spam.
But here's what was great.
I caught that, Neil.
We ended up going to this same Thai place, this Thai restaurant place, and eventually we just became regulars. We would walk in the door with our gear, and they would guide us back to the same table. It was always in the back. They would unplug. There was a phone that would take orders, and they would go in and unplug it. They would turn down the music in the restaurant, and they would put us way in the back, and then would move everything, like all the waitress and waiters would move to the front where the bar was. So we had the ambiance, but then it was like we had like our own little studio in the back, and it was
that's cool.
By the time we got it dialed in, about 20 something episodes in, we were like, we don't even have time for this. Like I had a kid, you had a kid. We were like, we don't have time for this anymore. And we were still trying to do stuff with our business. We weren't full time yet with Mkt House. And so, we learned a lot. We learned a lot about interviewing. We learned a lot about how not to frame an episode. We learned a lot about podcasting, and then we put it on the shelf for 4 years.
We learned a lot about interviewing. Was like Jason said, like interviewing was something we learned a lot about. We had we made some really big connections in the marketing world, and had some really big time players in the marketing world that we interviewed. And even one of the biggest ones we had, and we will not drop any names, there's hints on my shelf, but I'm not going to reveal who those people are, was the worst one we had by far. And it was the coolest moment for Jason and I. Like it was hands down, like total fanboys walking into this place, like geeking out about we bragged about it. Like we were bragging to our friends, like, how cool is this?
It wasn't Tony Robbins, was it?
I'm not bragging about Tony Robbins, buddy.
I was about to say, you will not catch me around Tony Robbins.
No, it was a really cool company that we've been trying to get after. It was one of those like, where you try and get somebody on your show for like 6 months, 9 months, whatever it was. And then
we've been trying for 2 years to get,
you're like, oh, we did it.
We've been trying for 2 years to get Timothy's on.
Say it again?
We've been trying for 2 years to get Timothy's on.
Yeah. And surprise, he's on next. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we went out, like the place was so huge. They even had their own recording studio in this company that had nothing to do with recording. They had their own studio on
with
site.
no air conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was very small. It was very hot.
Well, you don't want that. That's sadly one of the parts that in this studio, there is one vent that I built for the thing, and it's on the other side of the room, pointed away, so there's no wind sound.
Yeah, that's why
was it how professional was it, the studio that they didn't use because they didn't need one?
It was legit. It was real. Like it was a real mini studio.
With they had soundproofing and everything, they could.
Yes. But they had no idea what they were doing. I don't know if the person who normally runs it is not there. Like they had a mini radio station that ran out of it. I feel like we're giving a lot of clues now. If you're into marketing at all, like you would know.
No.
But
I don't think they do that anymore.
Oh, you know,
I have two friends back in the UK. They're music producers, and they started off with their own music, with their own sound booth. They nailed 4 doors together and then soundproofed the inside of it. That was what they did.
It probably sounded amazing though.
And it did. Oh God, it did. I mean, when they were playing, they would just ask friends to do samples and stuff, and then they would just do it all on, they would just do it all on their computers. But that their sound studio was 4 doors nailed together. I mean, one of them opened, obviously.
Well, Zach said it before. Best audio I've ever recorded on that old show was when I was in Seattle for PodCon. I don't even know if Hank and John Green still do that anymore, but it was the very first PodCon out in Seattle. I was in my hotel room. We needed to record something because we had to release it on schedule. I got into that, that little tiny closet in your hotel room that's about as wide as your shoulders and
then it's got
4 feet wide.
The safes down at the bottom, and then
he had his stuff on
my computer
safe.
Was sitting on the safe. I had the blankets all on top of me, and I had the microphone underneath me, and so I was like cocooned in there. I was sweating to death, but it was the best audio I've ever recorded. It sounded it was like butter. It was amazing.
Surprisingly though, a car, you can get really good quality from a car.
Yeah, we did record a lot in the car.
Viva, I don't know if you listen to that Canadian lawyer, Viva Fry, does a video log. He does it from his car, he used to do it from his car. And his audio was, I was like, how the hell is your audio so good? You're in a car, dude. And now you're telling me that apparently it's good from in a car. So maybe I should try sometime. Because he would just have like his camera pointing at him. He didn't have like a microphone or anything. And he would just talk about cases that, you know, were going on. And it always sounded so crisp and clear.
Well, you know, the person who helped encourage this podcast in and of itself was Cubs fan Han. His first ever video came from him doing it from a car. He was in the middle. I think it was Grand Admiral Thrawn got dropped, the information for that, and so he ran to his car in the middle of a play rehearsal that he was doing, and did a video from his car.
Hang on a minute! I have done one from my car. On the way, Ray Rock was driving on the way back from Celebration in 2019. I had to do my Grand Arena chat, so I did it from my tablet in his car. So yes, I have done a stream from inside the car.
So
we actually recommend some of our clients when they record marketing videos to even not overthink it and just do it from your car. And they're like, really? I'm like, people don't care. Like they really don't care. You're in a car. No one cares.
And
people want to consume content.
So
it's just
content creation. You're giving these great tips, and that's kind of what Mkt House does, right?
Yeah. So we do consulting. We consulting is part of our business. So if you just are like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I need to grow my business, just something's not working, we sit down and we do discovery sessions and things like that. And it's really just talk through, trying to figure out what's going on. And we figure out a way to move forward with business development, marketing, design strategy, whatever it is. But, you know, we build websites, automations, ways to streamline processes, design, email, all that stuff, all that fun marketing things. Well, we think it's fun.
I do. Yeah.
What's the most, what I'm trying to think of the word here, exciting piece of advice that you've ever given out? And if you know what I mean, you're going to know exactly what I'm kind of fishing for here as far as a story goes when it comes to that.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm wondering, is it something that we talked about on our podcast?
That's what I'm trying to think.
No, not anything that you. This is actually a fresh question, but you know, just wondering about is there any piece of advice that you've been really excited to give to somebody that was, you know, I'll give you an example. Neil gives the credit to the Epiphany Throne, that he came up with the idea for Grand Arena Center, GA Center.
GA Center.
He, you know, and he was excited. He pulled me into a voice chat. He's like, Paul, what if we covered like Sports Center, people playing Grand Arena? I'm like, let's do it.
Oh man!
All the Epiphany toilet. I miss my Epiphany toilet. I really do miss my Epiphany toilet. I've not had a good Epiphany since leaving that house and no longer having my Epiphany toilet. It's been a while since I've had a good Epiphany. So,
are we still talking about epiphanies, or are we talking about the other thing?
Yeah, I think that's
whichever one. You know, the something that you had an epiphany to give a client, and you were excited to do it. You don't have to name the client. You can if you want. But
gosh, I don't know. There's lots of things. One of the things that I love to tell clients, and I think Zach does the same thing, is you could just make something, just create something, because a lot of content creators, a lot of companies don't realize that they need to be content creators to be relevant, to be found, to grow their business. Whether you're a small solopreneur or you've got a big, you know, huge business with 100 or more employees. One of the things that I love to tell people, and Zach flat out said this to somebody, and they like had this aha moment one time. It's like, just make something, just create, set a schedule and just create something, but stick to it. Like find a cadence that works for you. So if it's once a month, twice a month, 3 times a week, whatever it is, just find it and stick with it.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about, because I remember in the meeting, we were talking about content creation, talking about specifically SEO. Like, you guys need to be more active in this area, these areas. And they said, our business doesn't just, we don't need a blog. Like, what are we going to write about? And like, off the top of my head, don't know anything about their industry, rattled off 5 or 6 ideas, and they're like, oh, and then they started immediately, like something like Jason said, a light bulb goes off. And they start rattling off ideas. And I was like, and you've started just 5 minutes ago telling me that you don't know anything you'd write about. And they're like, but would anybody read this? I said, people are searching right now for those answers. They need it. That's how they're going to find you. And if you don't put it out there, how does Google know that you're more relevant than Joe Bob down the street? You know what I mean? Like, they don't.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with blogging. So like, people have this concept that like, why would I blog? I'm not a blogger. Well, dismiss the thought that it's just, well, I'm in my wife's craft studio, right? She quilts. And, you know, that I feel like that is the mentality that a lot of people have, is when like, oh, I'm a crafty person. I'm doing all these blogs, talking about how I do my craft or whatever. But it can be so much more than that. It's just telling a story and making sure that it's relevant to your brand, because when somebody finds you, if whether you're a content creator or whatever, when they want to know your story, they want to know about you. That's why the about page on any website is the number 2 trafficked page on the site, like pretty much globally. If people go to the homepage, people go to the about page. They want to know your story, so tell it. And that's one of the things that we just love to try and convince people to do, is that blogging is not just for this frou-frou thing that you want to just talk about. It's not like a blog for your recipes, where you have to tell 8,000 words about your life story that led you to the point that you're going to make butternut squash soup. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about writing 500 to 1,000 words that's relevant about something that's important to you and your brand. Well, and then throwing in pictures and making it interesting.
And piggyback off that, like a lot of creatives, a lot of entrepreneurs, they want it to be perfect, right? So they start over analyzing every small detail. I've got to have the right gear. I got to have the right, this piece of content's not the best. Just put it out there. Because the more that you do it, you're going to refine the process to the point where it does get better and it does get to where you want it to be. Jason said this to me because I just started doing t-shirt design as well. He pushed me into it, and he told me several times, and I was like, this is garbage. I'm not putting this out there. He said, just do it. Just put it out there and you're going to get better. Just do it every week. And it has, and I'm not at his level by any means, but I would say that I've progressed. And it's because I've put myself out there more and more and more. So that's kind of like the message I would say with any content creator is just to what Jason said, just start doing it and don't worry about it being perfect. You're going to refine the process as you go.
Go ahead.
No. He said something that just clicked in my head. I'm looking at your guys' green screens. It makes me think of the Shia LaBeouf, Just Do It. You know, when he like went crazy in front of the green screen, just do it. You know, that's exactly what it's like. Well, I mean, we don't scream at people with a rat tail in front of a green screen, but like we do try and communicate that as best as possible. It's like, just go make it. Just go make it, because you do have an audience. You got to find the audience. You have to tell your story, and that's it. Like, they'll come. Like, you'll grow.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question for a near dear friend of ours. They sent me a message saying, what about creators who hit that slump and can't think of something new to put out there? What advice would you have for them? And then they said, just asking for a friend.
So what what you said earlier, Neil, was that you had an epiphany seat, right?
Epiphany toilet.
Okay, there we go.
Everybody out there knows about
Epiphany
the
throne.
toilet. They all know.
Epiphany toilet. You had an epiphany toilet. I always tell people, and I do it for myself, you have to get away from the creative space every once in a while. You can't. The more and more you sit in it, the more and more your creative juices dwindle down.
Sit on it. Whoa, sit on it. Juices, epiphany toilet.
Throne.
This is
we're going.
Where are we going here?
Great. Now I got to make this a PG-13 cast.
Well, we can.
Does that mean I can drop an F-bomb?
No.
No, that makes it to the R rating, so we can do that.
You've got 5. Go ahead.
So I always tell him. I always say, I've heard this a long time ago, and when I was working at a regular 9 to 5, I had a boss that told me he would say, "I want you to just get out." Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do? Walk around? And he's like, "Yeah, I want you to go to the mall. There's a mall right down the street. Just go to the mall and just walk around for about an hour." I was like, "You're paying me to go to the mall and walk around for an hour?" He goes, in marketing, that was a brilliant plan, because now what does a mall do? It's nothing but marketing all the way around you. And so I walked around that mall, and as I walked around, all these ideas started popping in my head. I had nothing walking into that mall. I was like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. I'm going to walk. I'm going to take it because I'm getting paid to walk around a mall. Like, I'm out of the office. Everybody else is slumping in. But I came back and had so many ideas. Yeah. So I always say, get out of your space. If you keep working in the same space, separate yourself from that space that you're in, and wherever you create. Sometimes that can be to your detriment, right? Being in the same space all the time. Get out. Work from a different space.
Get out.
Create from a different space. If you're, like,
find a new epiphany toilet.
Find a new. You might find an epiphany toilet at the mall. That might be, you don't even know it yet.
On the roof.
There is no mall within walking distance of my residence.
Maybe there's like a Home Depot.
You can go to Five Below. Go to Five Below.
What I tend to do is I go for a walk to Big Lots, and then I walk back. There's a Big Lots about 15 minutes down the road from me. So I go for a walk, maybe buy a box of crackers or a bag of sweets or something like that, and then I walk back. And I do have ideas from time to time. It's just, I just don't have the time or the studio space at the moment to do anything.
So
I would say for me, and this is actually one of the very first episodes that we did a long time ago on lunch break. We talked about creative block and how to go through those things. Is one of the things I say is change your soundtrack. So if you work to a particular kind of music, change it up, find something completely different. See if you find inspiration there. Take a look if you're connected on Facebook, like in your Spotify, look down the side and see what somebody else is listening to, and listen to theirs.
Oh God, I hope you haven't listened to mine.
Norwegian death metal is a very niche thing, but
The Who is awesome.
It's
Okay, The Who is amazing. They're going to be here in late May, so I'm excited for that. Anyway,
changing the soundtrack, living inside of somebody else's creative moment is another thing. So find somebody that you follow on Instagram and just go through their feed, look and see what they're doing and find inspiration in that, because there literally is nothing new in the world. It's just a derivation of something else that somebody else has derived off of something else, so find inspiration in that. To Zach's point, that doesn't work for me. Taking a walk and clearing my head, for me, I have to work through it. So I have to put crap down on paper. Well, I use a tablet, so I'll just doodle. I'll doodle little pictures. I'll do curly cues. I'll erase the artboard and I'll start over, and I'll keep doing that, rinse and repeat until something pops into my head, and then I'll draw something. And so I kind of force my way through it. But then I say sleep on it. That's another big one.
Yeah.
And last question that I'm going to ask you guys to give your elevator pitch and your plug here. What if they're doing those things, but what's helping to cause it is they're not seeing results. They're not seeing the click-throughs. They're not seeing the views.
Yeah. Well, this is something that comes up oftentimes is if it's not working, you have to keep refining that process. It's with marketing, with anything that's creative, you have to keep trying to figure out what's that missing link. Think of it as like a game. Like there's a missing piece that you've got. Let me switch this out and put this in. So just recently we're working with a client and we're going over the exact same thing. We're going over a landing page that we felt like would convert. The ads are working, but it's not converting on the landing page. So now Jason and I are going back to the drawing board and saying, all right, what if it's this? What if it's this? And if we move this here and this here and this here, what happens then? Test it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff does take time and you can't rush it. But once I heard a marketer, and I think it was Neil Patel, he said that he always puts a lot of his stuff, just throws everything on the table and then sees what's working and then puts all of his eggs in that basket and waits to that. And then he eventually looks at it and goes, well, this isn't working anymore. Time to dump out all the stuff back on the table. Let me spread it all back out. This is working here. So now I'm going to shift over here. And
think of it like Lego.
Right. That's what I picture in my mind. Is like dumping out a whole thing of Legos out on the table and just spreading it out. Don't get discouraged because every creator is going through the exact same thing. Even the people who you look at and you admire, who you think are killing it, are still going through the same struggles you are.
There's no silver bullet to become popular.
Nope.
There's no magic recipe that's going to make you go viral.
That was the topic of your latest episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing that's just gonna make it happen.
Except there is one thing.
Money.
No.
Oh. Drugs.
I'll tell you. I was because we're PG-13. I was going to say movies.
Hot tub. It's under the hot tub, swimsuit, and beaches category on Twitch.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
if you've got a dad bod, just don't bother. Hot bods only.
It really is. It's really just staying in the moment and like I said before, with like blogging, for example, find something that works for your content creation schedule and stick to that cadence. Right. So for us right now with Hustle Machine, it's releasing one episode a week and then doing a special live episode each week. That works for us. And we're trying to stay consistent with it. And when people catch on to that consistency, you will be successful. They'll tune in, they can share that content with friends, and you just stay consistent with it. Which is why people swear that the algorithm for Instagram works, where if you're consistent with your reels and you're doing this, that, and the other thing, and you're pulling this lever and you're doing this dance and you're talking about this and you're playing this track and you're using this filter, whatever it is, if you're consistent with it, it eventually pays off. And so just being ready and being consistent is big. And somebody's super popular.
That'd be Nev. Nev, what do you got for the guys before we unleash the plugs?
What's the obviously you speak to lots of people and you give lots of advice. What's the one piece of advice you seem to give the most over and over and over and over and over again?
Zach, put your shirt back on.
That's usually it. You got lost it. That's usually.
I've been talking. Zach, do you want to take it?
One of the biggest things is when we talk to people, you look at him, he's like, don't ever do that again. One of the biggest things I feel like happens oftentimes when we get done with a website build, or we have people who come to us with the website, is I have this bright, shiny, brand new spanking website, but I'm not getting any traffic. And it's like, well, it's not a Field of Dreams type situation here. It's not you build it and they will come type deal. It's you got to spend some time and money and effort to get eyeballs on it. So there has to be some sort of marketing, whatever strategy you want to use, but you have to, that's your next play. You can't just put it out into the world and go, I'm going to be super popular and everybody's going to come to my website now. It doesn't work that way. So I would say that comes up quite often. And that's one of the reasons why we did start with just doing website builds. But we have our marketing degrees because we were both marketing directors at rather large companies with large teams and large budgets that we had to manage. And so we knew that marketing is a missing piece that a lot of people don't want to spend money on and spend time on because they don't, to your earlier point, we don't see the ROI. Well, you're not going to have a business if you don't put anything towards it or do anything for marketing.
So if people, want to pick up their website and say, please fix him, how are people going to how are people going to get in contact with you, and what's the overall company name, and how do they find you? You've got the floor. Take it away. Give your plug.
So you can get on the you can get on your browser and in the URL box, you would type in MKT, short for market.house, and you would find us there.
You did say that correct. It is not a .com. It is a .house.
Yeah. We've had a lot of clients say they can't email us because they're entering our email like jason@mkt.house.com. But I'm like, that's not a thing. There's no like extra level. Anyway,
there's not a subdomain in that.
mkt.house that's where you find us. That's our home for our parent brand. We also have a small side project called Site Now. It's sitenowlive.com. It's mini websites for small businesses, and we help launch and do social media mainly for small businesses,
which include content creators.
Yes, exactly.
You have to think of yourself as a business if you are going to be doing content creation and you're expecting to be making big money out of it.
Right.
And even then, that big money is not guaranteed without the proper marketing.
Exactly. Yes. Right. I need you to can you record commercials for us?
I would gladly do that.
Our own show on our show.
100%.
Sure. Yes. I will gladly lend you my voice and or face if you want me to, do that.
Yeah. And or face.
If you need a bad guy, then just come to me because obviously I'm British and we make much, much better evil people than, you just can't do bad as good as us, unfortunately.
I mean, you have a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Fact.
Ray Fiennes, Jason Isaacs. I mean, I could go with the Harry Potter world.
Darth Vader, Moff Tarkin.
But
Brits.
You do have also Sauron or Saruman or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
Yes, both of them.
So that's our business.
What about the podcast?
That's what makes us money.
Yeah, we have a podcast.
And then we have a podcast as well. It's called The Hustle Machine, and it's hustle-machine.com, or just Hustle Machine Podcast, or just Google us. We're on YouTube and all the places we listen to content. Spotify is one of our big outlets right now.
You have to use the tried and true wherever fine podcasts are heard.
Right. Yes, wherever fine podcasts are heard or consumed. I like.
We're on YouTube as well, so like we record all of ours as well. So you can. We're
on the Facebook. We're on the Twitter. We're on the YouTube. We're on the Instagram.
You can look at us if you want to, or just listen to our voices, whatever you want.
I prefer to just listen
at the same time. You can hit the podcast and sync it up with the YouTube video and listen and like do both.
And we get two plays.
I was going to say I'd prefer that actually,
because you get two exposures.
Yeah. And our show is a lot like this. So we are best friends from college, and we started a business 9 years ago.
Thanks,
and Oh, I was talking about Paul. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
You want to be included in this?
This is so awkward.
No, so Zach and I, we're best friends from college. We started a business like 9 years ago. We've grown it as a side hustle year after year after year. And then about a year and a half ago, we went full time. And so on the show, we really just talk about topics that we think are relevant to small business owners, to content creators, to solopreneurs. So just one person just trying to side hustle by themselves, trying to just make a dream happen. And that's what we talk about every week. And so it's usually a topic and then a lot of banter, coughing a lot by Zach. And
a lot of shirts being removed.
No, that's the old podcast. This is not,
in the Thai restaurant.
In the restaurant, yeah. Well, that's common in Thai restaurants. I don't know if you're familiar with Thai restaurants, but
yeah.
Well, guys, we are way over. It is your son's birthday. You need to go make sure that he's doing all right, Jason. Happy birthday to your son. Check out if you want to do a search for Jason's art. It's Doodle Toots. I'm not making that up. Doodle Toots, just as it sounds. Search for that username on Woot. Zach, you're doing it now too. What's your username on there?
Tatum Tees.
Tatum Tees. And then, of course, check out their website, mkt.house, for the home of the hustle machine.
Also, can I just toss out one thing else, Paul?
Sure.
Go Braves.
Go Marlins. All right. We have a lot of friends that are Braves fans here too, so that's fine to say as well, as long as you're enjoying sport. Neil, go. How am I bringing up a bad subject? How did South? What's your team?
Just move on.
Let's move on. Okay. We'll be back after these messages with the final Getting Jiggy with Jigabachi right after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Today's episode of Dickie and the Noob is sponsored by the Canadian Department of Mobile Gaming. More from them after the episode. On last month's Dickie and the Noob, Dickie found out that Noob used to be Hondo Onaka's protocol droid. He devised a plan with Yarmo to access Noob in safe mode and uncover his past. Alright Yarmo, so we should have access to his memories now? How does this work? Okay, so Noob, what is your name?
N00B.
Okay, good. Can you tell me when you were first activated?
2019.
And who activated you?
Hellenics. Hashtag shameless self-promotion.
Good. Do you remember anything before you met Hellenics?
Does not compute.
Yarmo, this isn't working. Anything you can do here?
Good. Remember, go black. Oh, boy.
Okay, noob. Do you remember Hondo Onaka?
Hondo Transport Solutions.
Awesome. That's the name of Hondo's front shipping company. Do you remember where it is?
Stu John.
Great. Do you remember being on Stu John?
I was Hondo's protocol droid counting cards. He used to have me count cards for him. Roger.
Uh-oh, I think he's turning into one of those old separatist battle droids.
R0G3R security droid. He's the one who sent me to the scrap heap. Revenge.
All right, cool. We might be actually getting somewhere. Do you remember anything? Does Hondo actually live on Stu John? Does he have a house there?
Hondo lives on the mothership.
Okay, well, we live on it now. Is there anything you can think of that might help me locate Hondo?
Fish.
Cool, so like his favorite fishing spot?
He smells like fish.
Okay, that really doesn't help at all. If Hondo were to go into hiding, where do you think he would go?
Secret door in the warehouse.
Like a safe house?
No one is safe. Death awaits.
Okay, that's not ominous at all. Do you remember where this warehouse is?
On the shore of Kenobi Lake. Lake full of Ravanax. Do not go swimming.
I'll keep that in mind. Is there anything else you can think of associates on Stu John?
Pirates Guild. Although they may want to kill me, I'm actually pretty sure they want to kill me.
What did you do, noob?
Unclear. Memory fragmented.
Yarmo, a little help?
Oh, boy.
Protocol 808 activated.
What's Protocol 808?
Complete hard wipe of all memory banks.
No, noob, stop.
Protocol 808 halted. Progress 68%. R0G3R. Roger.
Roger? Wait, why am I saying Roger? And why are you guys in my room?
It kind of seemed like you were having a nightmare. We just came in to see if you were doing okay.
I am a droid. We don't dream. This is weird. How embarrassing.
All right, noob, no need to get all worked up. Power down and get some rest. We'll be in Stu John soon.
Stu John? Why do I suddenly crave Ravanac oil?
Have you ever been to Stu John?
Can't say that I have.
All right, noob, glad you're okay. Get some rest, and I'll wake you up when we get to the planet. Tune in next time to find out what our heroes discover on Stu John. And now, a word from our sponsor, the Canadian Ministry of Mobile Gaming.
Hey buddy, I am the Canadian Minister of Mobile Gaming. And do you like free-to-play hero collector games? Well, the Canadian Ministry of Mobile Gaming is very proud to present Canada Galaxy of Hoses. Now I can hear you saying, hey guy, what's this all about? Well, Canada Galaxy of Hoses takes your favorite Canadians, arms them with hockey sticks, and pits them against each other in battle. There's several exciting factions such as your favorite Canadian comedians like Jim Carrey, Tom Green, Norm Macdonald, Mike Myers, and Seth Rogen. Or your favorite musicians, Neil Young, Celine Dion, Michael Bublé, Alanis Morissette, and Geddy Lee. We promise to never bring Nickelback to the game. How about your favorite movie stars, guy? Michael J. Fox, Kiefer Sutherland, Hayden Christensen, Nathan Fillion, and William Shatner. Are your favorite Canadian athletes is just a bunch of hockey players. And of course, your favorite mobile gamers such as Stylos, SWGOH Yeti, Ricky P, Andy Beads, and some guy named Dickie Darkside. Collect them all and you could unlock our legendary faction, Sexy Ryans, with Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling. And even our first galactic legend, Canadian Jesus himself, Keanu Reeves. And hey friend, we're adding new characters every month that you can collect for absolutely free. 6 to 9 months after release. Or you can pay low sum of $50 to unlock them immediately. So what are you waiting for? Download Canada Galaxy of Hoses for your BlackBerry device. Download it today and use the promo code Poutine to get 4 free quarts of maple syrup to max out your characters, and you'll get 1 hero for free. Scott, Canada Galaxy of Hoses, only for your BlackBerry device. Find out what it's all about today, friend. Hey, buddy, get this. I just told them that we're going to give them Scott for free. They don't know that Scott sucks. Nobody likes Scott. And get this, I told them that $50 was a low price to pay for 1 character in a mobile game. What do you mean some games charge up to 10 times that? Seriously? Get me the marketing department on the phone right now. You're still recording, shut the camera off.
And now, it's time for Getting Jigabachi with it on the Escape Pod cast.
Boy, that pink really took, didn't it? The blue didn't. Look at the blue, fell right out. But the pink, man, it is just, woof.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. No, you're fine, Jigs.
There's a wall separating me and Mr. Jigabachi. Where did the wall? How did the wall get into the cockpit?
Hey, and I'm fixing things because
the wall is gone now. There we go. That's better. Yes. There we go.
Professionals. That's what we're doing here. We're doing professionals. That's what professionals do.
Well, Jig's camera changes every single week, so yeah.
What do you mean?
Different angles, different.
I do that because I change the cameras and stuff like that depending on what game I'm playing.
Yeah. So speaking of you, this truly is the final Getting Jiggy with Jigabachi, because Jigabachi's taken a step back from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content creation. I think we could guess what fueled that, but what's going on, Jig?
I found more fun games to play with my free time. I mean, it's just a matter of the fact that I'm just not having fun with the game anymore, and I felt it disingenuous for me to be taking up a spot with you guys when, like, I'm not even playing. So it's like, I mean, I'm playing with my guild and stuff like that, but I'm not playing competitively. I mean, I'm throwing matches intentionally, and I know that there's people out there that are, if that makes sense. So it didn't I don't know. I didn't really feel like I was fitting in with the new Matrix. So obviously that's what spawned this, because it's like, how am I supposed to talk and be current when you guys are telling me that I have to add a new fleet thing? And I'm like, oh, I just learned that 5 minutes ago from now.
Well, you're not gonna, but you're not gonna throw everything though. You'll do just what you need to do to stay in Kyber so that you can at least get decent rewards, right?
Well, but here's the thing, and this is not to get into the whole dissertation about things, but there are a couple things that I think that a lot of people are forgetting. I'm never going to be in the top 1,000 or top 100. Why? Because it's an electric ladder and it keeps going on. It keeps getting higher and higher and higher. With 4GLs, and yes, I'm aware that Calvin Awesome does it with 4GLs. We're not talking about the same thing. Because his account is built to play in GAC. Mine is not built for GAC. Mine is built for Light Side Geo and to help my guild. And I will choose guild stuff before GAC stuff every single time. So I have 5 Omnicrons, 3 are in GW, 2 are in GAC. I don't see that changing. And so that's going to make the GAC stuff for me exponentially harder the more that I walk the line between the two worlds. So I have to make a decision. Do I do full GAC? Do I do guild? My choice is the guild because they're the people that allow me to do my thing.
Yeah, and just as we put our guest just moments ago, if you're not, people are trying to tune into some of the top stuff, and it's not easily to get those clicks if it's not, oh my gosh, look at me, I'm top 100 in the world, as you were saying during the break.
Well, but I mean, I've never advertised that. I mean,
and more people are watching the competitive.
Lakers. Arnold is the New York Yankees. I'm the Harlem Globetrotters, dude. I'm an enormous joke, and I don't make it. My goal is never to be able to advertise. This is where the top player is. My advertisement is, I'm going to have fun, and that's all. And unfortunately, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is growing away from that, and it's growing more towards this hyper-competitive matrix, which is okay, because there's people that love that. I'm not one of those people. You know what I mean?
You're a team player.
That's a fair statement. I would agree with that. I'm more of a team guy, more of a have fun with your friends at a bar on a Friday night rather than, sit in front of my computer sweating away to the, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like some people, like football, some people like golf.
Well, some people like volleyball, other people like tennis. Some people prefer the team thing, the group thing, and some people prefer the individualistic thing.
Well,
different strokes for different folks.
Well, this is an example. On this Wednesday, I did a complete roster sit down, which included mods and breakouts and team comps with a guildie who's got a very similar GP to me. And we were basically going over what team compositions he was using, what he was successful with, what he wasn't successful with, how his mod profiling was between this team versus this team. And it's like, it was probably 4 hours, and I had more fun doing that than I've had streaming GAC.
You had more fun helping out a teammate than streaming GAC.
It was just two of us, and we were just, talking. I'm a Buddhist, and he's, super Christian. So it was a lot of really fun conversations between the two of us, where he's taking jabs at me, and it was great because it was like the two people are just talking, and it's experiencing joy together. And, it was just things have moved for me, and I needed to move as well. So I don't know. I'm a weird guy. I spent 12 hours with a guild that I don't even belong to do cam with them. I probably coached 30 cam missions on a Saturday after for Kate Gaming, her guild. I don't even know the name of the guild.
Is this still something you're going to do at all? On surfboard
still going to do the cam whispering?
Yeah, of course.
Just not on stream. It'll be on Discord, obviously.
Well, this last month I did it. I probably sat through 40 on my guild alone, and then probably another 30 with Kate's guild. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the guild, and I apologize. And Aquitus is in there. There's a bunch of people in there, and I feel Balazar. I feel really badly that I don't remember the name, but I'm sorry. To me, I don't care about that. I care about the win-loss ratio, and I care about teaching. That's all I care about. I know that's really weird. I don't care about win or loss. I just care about having fun. What does that make me?
I'm looking.
Someone that likes to have fun.
I'm just a big old hippie.
Exactly. You're just someone that wants to have fun.
Mighty
just want to have fun.
Is it Mighty Chlorians United?
I'm an electric hippie. No, I think it's like 12 parsecs, I think. 12 parsecs? I think it's her original. Not her big account. It's the little one.
Oh yeah, so it's a main account, not the one that she got from Dylar.
Yeah, I don't, dude.
She's not gonna need help from anybody on the Dylar because she's gonna be in a massive guild, and they're all gonna be like,
Yeah, but I did, strangely enough, that was her guild. I didn't even talk to her the whole day. I just literally was with her guild. It was really fun. I got to meet a bunch of new people. I mean, it's my guild is almost entirely European. So, I'm like, trying to understand French when I'm trying to do it, where her guild is entirely Southern. So I'm like trying to I go from a day of German and French accents to Alabama. I'm like, oh. Not easy.
So you said last week you're going to be playing XCOM 2. You were playing that just before going live here with us.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it?
It is exceptionally difficult. And I do that. It's really weird. I love exceptionally difficult. And I love learning new systems and stuff like that. I guess that's kind of fun. I completely made all of the people, all of your trooper people for your XCOM thing out of chat.
Nice.
So everybody's in there. I mean, all of my regulars are in. They're the team. So
yeah, I've
gave
seen
everybody,
people do that with that game.
And all the things. Of course, I'm pink. Obviously, you don't get to choose pink in my stream if it's available. Sorry, I'm going to take it every time.
So we did have a question come in from Sephiranus specifically for you. Which Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content creator gives you the most mod envy?
Mod envy?
Yeah. Do you have mod envy of any other Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes creator?
This is going to sound terribly egocentric, but I don't pay attention to what other people do.
No.
I mean, like I've simmed Calvin and myself against each other because our accounts are very similar, but I couldn't even tell you what. I mean, I know that like Sir Loki's supposed to have a ridiculous amount of mods. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he's posted links before where it showed like his fastest account or his fastest characters, but I've never looked at his account before. I know that sounds really, I don't worry about what's going on in other people's yards. I know that sounds really weird, but if it's something that like directly relates to me and like a person said, hey, can you have a look at this? Then I've like dove in and look at it. But the only person that I've actually looked at was Calvin because we simmed it against each other. And then I looked at a little bit about, but I have never looked at like Arnold's mods or I don't even know what's on Arnold's roster. Imagine everything. I know that sounds really weird, but I don't play the Joneses. You know what I mean? That just doesn't interest me.
All right.
My guild, that's different. I could tell you where almost every person is in the guild. That just because I'm part of the modding staff and I'm part of the modding group that goes through and helps people remod and work with the new stuff and that kind of thing.
Well,
I'm sorry if that doesn't answer your question, Seth.
No, it's okay. So we wanted to have you on, as we've said, one last time. But mainly I personally want to thank you for everything that you've done for this community. You have been such a great content creator role model in my mind. Because you always reached out to help when people needed it. You always welcomed new people in. You always found a way to entertain at the same time as informing. And personally, from me, and I believe I speak for Nev as well on that, the Escape Podcast would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you've done. And we look forward to where you're going next.
Well, I straight up love you guys and stuff like that. So to me, it's like the way I look at it is that I'm just shifting I'm shifting the landscape, and that's positive, So like, I'm not disappearing. Like, I'm not like going to delete all the Discord. It's like, you guys are jerk faces. We don't play the same game. I hate you guys. I mean, I still make my crazy posts where I'm sure you guys read through them and go, dude, Jigabachi's got the craziest, weirdest way of chatting. When I read posts with his name on them, they either don't make sense, or are littered with weird things. And, I don't know. I'm not going anywhere,
Yeah, you're not. No one's ever really gone. to quote Star Wars.
Well, one of the big things that I said, and I probably didn't mention this in this format, and I probably didn't mention it in the Discord or whatever. I'm still playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but there is one thing I will refuse to do. I'm not playing on an emulator anymore that crashes. If they can put this game on Steam, or if they can put it on a Windows app where it is stable and runs correctly, you got a chance to have me back. Until then, I'm not even remotely interested. The 2 crashes I had in Lightside Geo, and I've lost GAC matches over crashes. No thanks. And I don't want to play on my iPad. I'm sorry. I tried doing it, and it looks creepy with me like staring at my iPad, you know what I mean? And the camera, I like to look up. I want to look at the chat. I don't know. It's weird.
I like doing that. I like playing on my phone.
Well, you have a gorgeous forehead, and you know what I mean, with a little bit of powder here to cut down on the shine. You know what I mean? It's great. Me, it's like, I mean, I guess you could say I could probably, you know what I mean?
You can pull it off with the bright hair. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of the bright hair, I was at Starbucks last week, and the girl behind the counter like stood there looking at me for a couple seconds, and I like did the whole like glasses, like lift them up with my fingers, you know, because I'm a fucking ham. So sorry, because I'm a big old ham. And I said, can I help you? We're like in reverse. And she said, you have the coolest Twilight sparkle hair I've ever seen.
Yes, it is the My Little Pony Twilight sparkle hair color. Oh my God, that's
I
where
literally
it's from.
stood there. Oh, and I'm a smart guy, you know, smart mouth, you know, the whole 9 yards. I stood there for about 10 seconds, and I was like, was not what was intended when I did this, but yeah. She's right. I look like Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkle.
All right, let's hit these up here. Any before we go into the final Patreon's choice questions here with you, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the community to that maybe you haven't had a chance to do so?
Take it easy. One of the biggest proponents that has been part of my relationship with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and it comes and goes, has been that the game puts a tremendous amount of pressure on you as a person. Like this, you know, the new extra fleet thing. The game wants to put pressure on you to make you feel uncomfortable, to get you to be able to go, you know, if I buy this pack this one time, I'll get caught up. You have to be able to make those active and passive choices to go, no, I don't need this. I'm okay and happy where I'm at. And I don't mind growing this over long term rather than right now. Or if you want to do it, you can click that button and go, cool, I got something new and exciting today. But you have to be constantly analyzing where the joy is. And it's not in buying things. It's the experiences you share with other people. Did that just come as big hippie from me?
It was very well said.
Very Buddhist of you.
By the way, our friend Cascade says, Jigabachi just doesn't want to be looking down at his junk, smiling and talking because it's awkward.
My junk and I have had discussions in the past. I mean, at this stage of the game, you know what I mean? It feels like that conversation is, you know, disingenuous. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I mean, it's like a one-sided conversation, you know, like, hey buddy, how's it going? How we doing today? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't work.
And the last thing you want to do is be caught looking down going, annihilate.
Oh, well, there's that too. Or you could be doing the like Darth Maul, like, oh, suck him, you know? You know what I mean? It's like,
all right, here we go. Zaz's questions, the final Jigabachi group of questions here. If you were a rock star, and I know that you are, in a way, Jig, what would your stage name be?
What would my stage name? Oh, shoot. What was my state? Twilight Sparkle?
Twilight Sparkle. All right. Nev, what would your stage name be?
No idea.
I'm gonna go down the. I'm not gonna go down the Slipknot route. I'm not gonna go down the 9 Inch Nail route. I'm gonna go down the Steel Panther route. So it wouldn't be Steel Panther. It would be Iron Puma. There we go.
Iron Puma. I would be Rocky McRockface. There we go. If you were a Force user, what kind of lightsaber would you use?
Oh, give me a break. Seriously? That's the easiest question to ask me in the history of questions.
Hey, at least we finally got you an easy one in the last segment.
I mean, seriously, it's been my favorite color since I was a child, and all the way when I was little, and I was like going through school.
Not just color, but kind.
Oh, kind?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be a pink heart saber.
I'm a traditionalist. I would go with single blade green, just like Luke.
Single blade yellow, and I already have mine. It's one of my power and control. Incorporates the top of Vader's and the bottom of Obi's. So. Yeah.
That is way more thought than I would have ever done into putting it on.
All right. What has been your most embarrassing moment in life? You guys go ahead and answer that. I'm going to go grab that lightsaber.
Go on then. You go first. And then we'll see who outdoes each other for the most embarrassing moment ever.
Unfortunately, this is going to make my wife really mad because this is about an ex-girlfriend, but it's so hilarious and embarrassing. 30 years ago, my girlfriend that had stabbed me and I had gotten arrested when we were out on a date because she wouldn't shut up when the police officer told her to stop talking because the police officer had pulled me over because I was, I didn't have plates on my car or whatever. And she just wouldn't shut up. And so she's running her mouth up until the cop said, "Get out of the fucking car." I'm sorry, dude. Get out of the car.
I'll have to bleep twice now.
Sorry. There's two of them. I apologize. Get out of the car. And then, the officer touched her. Anyways, I walked into the police station in the next morning to post bail. And I can hear her through the wall. And when I'm walking up to the officer that's at the desk, I go, "Hi," and he goes, "I don't care who you are, and I know why you're here. Do yourself a favor and leave that trash by the side of the road and never come back." And I said, "No, it's totally fine." And the person says, "How does this not embarrass you?" And then another 2 years went by.
All right.
Okay. You go, Paul, because I'm still trying to think of something sufficiently embarrassing.
I have tons of them, by the way. Tons of them. That's just a tip of the iceberg.
I would guess I would say being called a old high school nickname, freshman nickname at my prom. I guess some people can't leave. Always seem to want to bully you no matter what. That was one of the most embarrassing things. But you know what? I enjoy soy sauce, is all I'm going to say. Nev, your turn.
Oh, I've thought of something. I have thought of something. So it's the 4th of July. I'm in Cyprus. I'm in the army. I'm 19 years old. Me, my friends, we're all sat on the playing field. We're all drinking because the Americans were throwing a party because we had Americans on the base as well. RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus. My parents are over from the UK visiting me. So we're all in the playing field. We're all drinking. We're all chatting, having a good time. And I'm 19. What does my mother do? She licks her thumb, leans over and rubs a smudge off my cheek. And all of my friends just looked at me and went, did your mother just clean your face. That was it. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's adorable.
That's the most embarrassing thing I can think of, because I don't tend to, I don't get embarrassed really. Nothing tends to embarrass me really.
My mother is probably one of the most unique human beings on the planet. And she's one of those transcendent people that you meet her the first time and you're like, whoa, this person exists. Like when my wife first met my mom, it was like one of those, like I told her, I was like, Prue, I don't know whether or not my mom is going to make you crazy or make you happy or drive you nuts, but it's going to be an experience. And we're driving back after meeting her. And my wife says, I don't remember her exact verbiage, but she's like, okay, you win. That was crazy.
All right. Zaz getting really deep for this one. How do you like to be comforted when you're sad or upset? For me, a soft blanket. I mean, I'm going to admit it. I love soft blankets. If there's one of my, I have this one bear. I have no qualms in admitting this. I have this one bear that when I used to have bad breakdowns, I would hold it. And it was, it is to this day. The bear came from Build-A-Bear, and it has patches all over it.
Interesting.
And it symbolized some of the money from that bear went to get bears for kids in children's hospitals. But the bear essentially symbolized the fact that you could have patches all over you. You could need fixing, but you're not worthless. So there you go.
Yeah, for me, I just want to be left alone. I'm a bit stoic, so I prefer to just be left alone. Don't speak to me, don't converse with me, don't touch me, just leave me the F alone until I'm ready to come back. Then that's it. I like to be, I prefer to be stoic like that. I don't, when I'm feeling like that, I don't want the touchy-feely. I just want my own space so that I can, work through it myself and come out the other side and then, yay, happy.
I am a processor and operator, and I also have been in the big surprise, folks. I've been in the mental health field for a long time, both on one end and on the other end. I'm very big about processes. I'm very, very big person about active and passive choices, and also analyzing behaviors on a daily basis. So I don't get mood swings that are both good or bad, because I believe in walking the awakened balanced path. So a lot of what I try to do is to be able to try to stay away from highs, stay away from lows, and try to maintain that equilibrium. And in doing so, that requires a lot of active thought and active choices to be able to maintain that balance. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. I get it. All right. And what's your best joke that you could tell on the air? I will say the one that I said earlier today in somebody paraphrased it actually. Actually, two ways, two jokes in one. The first one is Neil. Did you hear that there's starting to make autonomous driving trucks, not just cars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, we're going to get a country song where the guy's truck leaves him. Not that funny. Okay. The other one is, what do you get when you play country music backwards? Jigabachi, do you know this one?
You get the dog back.
You get the dog back, the wife back, the house back. Yes.
Okay, that's funny.
All right. whichever one of you wants to give the joke, and then we'll close
I'm just
it
trying
up.
to think of a joke off the top of my head. It's been a while.
I don't know. I don't really know any jokes. I mean, I don't know. I'm a silly person as it is, so I just kind of like.
You're more improv than set piece.
Yeah, I'm more of an improv kind of guy. You know what I mean? I'm more
improv.
I've actually done stand-up comedy before, and I actually did pretty well. I actually had a good friend of mine that was like, dude, you're destined for this, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. I write erotic poetry. Get off my ass.
Neil, you got one or?
No, I haven't. Not appropriate ones anyway. All of the jokes that I can remember are
You want to know a
from
good
the army,
joke?
and they're all
I can give you a topical good joke.
Topical, go on then.
What's your GAC record for last week, Nev?
Oh.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, we're going there, are we? Really? We're going there.
For those that missed, for those that missed GA Center, Nev finally joined me in the Wooden Spoon Club. He has one. I have a few.
0-3,
but he has
0-3 for the first time ever.
I'm kidding.
All right.
I was in Kyber too. It was inevitable.
I haven't gotten a wooden spoon yet. I've got a lot of 1 and 2s, but I haven't gotten a wooden spoon yet.
All right. So Jigabachi, you got XCOM coming up. Anything else? What else? What else is on your plate that you want to get out there?
It's actually really funny. I probably logged an obnoxious amount of hours into Cyberpunk. One of the things that's taught me about the last couple weeks about Cyberpunk and XCOM is that my destiny is never meant to be linear. It's meant to be multiple. Like I'm just going to keep transversing and just keep going down each individual highway as I see fit based upon what's fun. And I have no intention of stopping.
You're a polygamist.
I don't know where it's going to go.
Not a polygamist. You're a polygamist.
And it's going to be pink. I can promise you.
Nev, what do you got? What do you got coming up? We got GA Center, the final of season 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the end of this week, it'll be season 5.
End of season 5. Sorry,
final week of season 5.
I meant month 3 of the season, which is the end of the season.
Which is the end of the season. So it's down to the wire. It's pretty much a fight between Calvin Awesome, the playbook, and Arnold at the moment. But I mean, that's not really a big surprise there, is it? So we'll see who the champion is that gets crowned. But it's going to be one of those 3. It's definitely going to be one of those 3. I would bet the house on it. I
am excited. I mean, that's almost a guarantee because of. Everybody else has hit their elimination numbers for championship. But Neil, I'm excited to see what happens when Calvin gets reset. When we reset to 0 the next week, he's fought his way up to, he punches up all the time. How's he going to do when he starts fresh the following week?
Yeah. If he starts when he starts season 6, he's going to be in the top 1,000. So, is his SRD, is his skill rating differential going to be the same because he started the current season in Kyber 2? And, after 1 week, Kyber 1, and he's just been climbing through Kyber 1. So obviously, yes, his matches have got progressively harder and harder and harder. But when he starts season 6, he's starting from that very, very hard position. So it'd be interesting to see how he copes, because he does not have the depth in roster that the likes of the playbook or Arnold have. So it's going to be an interesting end to the season, and I'm looking forward to the new season definitely, because I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But the Yeti came out of retirement today, so fingers crossed.
So he went into retirement, and I came back, And then I'm going into retirement, and then he's coming back.
And now he's coming back. Yeah,
dude, he and I need to get on a schedule here. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to be like on, like he needs to call me and be like when he's getting tired. You know what I mean? Like when it's like the game is getting his, competitive fatigue. He can like call me and be like, Jig, I'm tapping you in. Can you get back here?
Yeah, I saw the announcement on his Discord server about 3 hours ago, and I DM'd him straight away. I'm like, "You've got an account. You're coming back. You're coming back." He's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Awesome." So yeah,
we like Eddie. So
he is one of the best. He's one of the best competitors. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All right, coming up on Vault 37 Studios on Twitch, Christy and I have finished Incredibles. We have 2 games left to go. DC Supervillains and Lego Movie 2 before we get to Skywalker Saga. We should be there within 3 weeks. Skywalker Saga comes out April 5th. We should be there in 3 weeks to be able to start playing Skywalker Saga shortly after the release. We're probably not going to hit it on release date, but nonetheless, thank you so much. Once again, I meant every single damn word I said, Jigabachi. Thank you for all the fun, and don't be a stranger. We won't either.
I won't. I'll be around.
All right. Nev, anything else?
No. Let's let all these people go. We've gone way over today.
We have. All right, everybody. Be nice to each other. Damn it, Neil.
Push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.